Well, it's that time of the year again, and for the 5th year in a row, I'm doing my weekly NFL picks. Now, this year is going to be quite different, as I'm doing a different format this time around. Instead of being on the webcam, posting like the pictures, the logos of each team, and talk about stuff like that, instead I'm going to write down some stuff, do a different format. As you see, I already have the teams already listed, away and home, current streak, offense and defensive stats for both the away and home teams, which of course, it's going to be like ranked, so like, if you're first in points, offensive per points, it'll be 1, and so like that, but since no one's played, it's at 0. Notes, I might write down, I don't have any notes for this week, since I already know what I'm going to be talking about, and there's nothing really left to talk about otherwise, and my pick for when it comes. So, let's get into it. For week 1 tonight, of course, Texans at Chiefs for the 2nd year in a row, the kickoff game. Nice to finally see that happen. Rematch from the divisional round playoff game last year, and of course the rematch from the week 6 game last year. I don't really have much faith in the Texans right now. I just have bad vibes about them, especially after that game last year, so that's the Chiefs. So then we get to our 1 p.m. games, starting with the Eagles at the Washington football team, as they haven't beaten the Eagles since 2016, as the Eagles have won 6 in a row. You see the streak right here. Now, the Eagles should not underestimate the football team, although they're struggled. Remember, they almost beat them twice last year, so they should take them seriously, but I don't think the football team's quite good enough yet, so I'm going to pick the Eagles still for that. And then, the Dolphins at the Patriots. How about that? That's funny that they decided to make this their first game, since that was the last game, too, last year when they played each other. Dolphins have the streak right now, 1 in a row. The first game after the Brady era since 2001, although 2001 was a starter, whatever. And, oh boy, I'm really curious about this. How will the Patriots do with a bunch of their defensive players out and Cam Newton starting? The Dolphins will play better, I think, this year than last year. So, honestly, you would probably think maybe the Dolphins would probably get, but I'm not fully sure about that. I wouldn't be surprised if they win, but I'm still going to pick the Patriots for this. Then it'll be the Packers at the Vikings, as the Packers have won 2 in a row. They swept them last year. Of course, it'll be quite interesting to see how this goes, since the Vikings kind of disappointed how they played against the Packers last year. I think both teams, though, are going to probably struggle this year as of right now. Probably should pick the Packers, especially since they embarrassed the Vikings when they visited them last Monday night, but I'm going to pick the Vikings for right now. Alright. Then it'll be the Colts at the Jaguars. The Jaguars won the most recent game. The Colts have not beaten the Jaguars in Jacksonville since 2014. That's how long it's been. And of course, this game I was so undecided at the beginning of the year. Who would I pick? Because Colts I thought were a better team, but they haven't beaten the Jaguars in years in Jacksonville. So that's got to be considered. But now the Jaguars have really been imploding like the last few weeks. I'm going to pick the Colts, but I won't be surprised if the Jaguars get it. And then it's the Bears at the Lions. The Bears have won 4 in a row. They swept them the last 2 years. The Lions haven't won since 2017. And the Lions, I think, are going to be better since Stafford's going to be back. And remember, I think, if I remember correctly, both games last year were close. I know the Thanksgiving game, which Stafford didn't play, was close. And I don't think the Bears are going to be better this year. So, with Stafford back, I'm actually going to pick the Lions to get this. But I guess I won't be surprised if the Bears get it either, since after all, they did beat them the last 4 games. Alright, so now we go down to our next set of games. As it'll be the Raiders at the Panthers for the first time since 2012. As, how about that, the Las Vegas Raiders playing their first game. Remember that incredible game in 2016 when these last two played? As the Raiders have... No, the Panthers haven't beaten the Raiders since 2012, I mean to say. It'll be quite interesting to see how this goes. I think they're both going to struggle this year, but I think the Panthers are more into rebuilding like right now, whereas the Raiders already began that. So I'm actually going to pick the Raiders. I actually picked the Panthers, I believe, at first when I did my schedule release reaction, but now I'm picking the Raiders. And that's the Jets at the Bills. Jets won the recent game. Funny enough, too, just like the Dolphins and Patriots, these two played each other the last week of the season in Buffalo. The Jets, of course, almost beat the Bills. Well, they did beat the Bills the last game, but the first game, they almost beat them too, remember, until they let that choke happen. So the Bills should not take the Jets lightly, but at the same time, they did, I believe, rest most of their stars if they had the 5th seed all locked. So I'm going to pick the Bills for this, but I would not be surprised if the Jets somehow get an upset. Then the game, of course, I'm going to be forced to watch. Browns at the Ravens. As the Ravens trying to get the revenge on the Browns. Since remember, the Browns are the last team to beat the Ravens in the regular season. They still have that, what was it? It was a 12-game winning streak right now. Incredible. Could they keep it up? Could the Browns get their, have the Ravens sleeping again? Could they choke against the Browns like they did last year? I could see it happen, but I'm still going to pick the Ravens. I won't be surprised if the Browns get it. Then it's the Seahawks at the Falcons for the second year in a row, as the Falcons are trying to beat them for the first time since 2017. I have a little bit of concerns for both teams, but I have more concerns with the Falcons after what happened last year, so I'm picking the Seahawks for this. After all, they did beat them last year, although it was close, and I won't be surprised if the Falcons get it. And then it's the 4 p.m. games, as I'm going to move down. There we go, that's all the games. As it's the Chargers at the Bengals for the first time since 2015, as the Bengals are trying to get their first win against them since 2015. Oh, please let it be Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert going after each other, but I doubt the Chargers are going to have him start, since I think they were having Taylor starting. I can only wish, though. That would be awesome to see rookie quarterbacks going after each other, but what can you do? These two teams suck. I know Gavin's going to be triggered by that, but oh well. But I think, I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers get it, but I have more trust in the Bengals. I think the Chargers are just going to have a massive implosion this year. So the Bengals would get that. Then the Cardinals at the 49ers, as the 49ers swept them last year. The Cardinals haven't won since 2018. Now remember, the Cardinals almost beat the 49ers both times last year. They lost by only 3 points in that Thursday night game, and then when they visited the 49ers, they almost beat them. They had the lead, I believe, until the final minute of the game. So the Cardinals can beat the 49ers, and they've gotten better. And the 49ers, I think, are going to have a Super Bowl hangover. So I'm actually going to pick the Cardinals in an upset. And then, of course, the game that the NFL is I'm promoting so much for Week 1. The Buccaneers at the Saints, as the Saints have won 3 in a row. The Buccaneers haven't beaten them since 2018. Funny enough, that was Week 1 as well. As Brady and Breeze are going to go at. It'll be interesting to see how the Brady does with them. Although I'm still have a lot of concerns with them. I also have some concerns with Saints. Is Breeze going to play good this year? Because he's getting up there in age too, and plus the injuries and concern. But I have a lot more concerns with the Buccaneers. Plus they're away, so I'm picking the Saints. But don't underestimate the Buccaneers, Saints. You've done that over the last bunch of years. Remember that, what was it, 48-40 thrash you took Week 1 of 2018? Yeah, don't underestimate them. Then it'll be Sunday night, as I don't know why they put this there, as it's the Cowboys at the Rams for the first time since 2014, as it'll be the first game in that new stadium. Of course, the Cowboys won the last game. The Rams haven't beaten the Cowboys since 2017, excluding the 2008 divisional playoff game. The Rams have a lot of concerns going their way this year. Cowboys, I'm going to pick the Cowboys for this. I mean, they did destroy them last year. So then, it will be the 2 Monday night games, as it'll be starting off the Steelers at the Giants for the first time since 2012, as the Giants haven't beaten the Steelers since 2008. The Steelers have won the last 2 games, but as much as I have concerns about the Steelers, the Giants are just in rebuild. This should be obviously Steelers. And then finally, the final game, as it's the Titans at the Broncos for the second year in a row. As the Broncos won the recent game, the Titans haven't beaten them since 2016. What was it, like 19-0 or something like that? That game against the Broncos last year was the game changer for the Titans. So that would be quite interesting to see how they play in the rematch. Will they show up? Will the Broncos get better too? It's going to be quite interesting to see how this game's going to go, but I'm still going to probably just give the edge to the Broncos for this one. Alright, so those are my picks for week 1. I cannot wait to see Texans and Chiefs tonight and all the other games. As my picks, Chiefs over the Texans, Eagles over the football team, Patriots over the Dolphins, Vikings over the Packers, Colts over Jaguars, Lions over Bears, Raiders over the Panthers, Bills over Jets, Ravens over the Browns, Seahawks over the Falcons, Bengals over the Chargers, Cardinals over the 49ers, Saints over the Buccaneers, Cowboys over the Rams, Steelers over the Cowboys, and Broncos over the Titans. And there's my weekly, as these are my weekly results from each week. I'll have them written down and show them each week as I did all the other previous 4 years. So, hope you all enjoyed seeing my picks, and I cannot wait for the games tonight. Well, the one game, and then all the games on Sunday and Monday.